wherever it is required. So if you observe here, the application which we created in that particular process, sorry, when you are running this in a fast mode, so it is not working, it is showing some errors, right? When you run this, observe this, it is showing a error. So because here, observe the reason, unable to match any window with the query terms. It means before launching your application, it is clicking on a write option. So blindly you need to remember one thing, we have to use wait in launch. Must and should remember that we have to use launch, so we have to use wait after the launch. And at the same time, remember, so when you are launching, we have to use exception also. We will discuss later what it means by exception when you are discussing about so exception things. Now remember, when you are launching, we have to use wait option and as well as exception. So must and should we need to use a wait when you are using launching. Suppose when you are launching any application, it can be Windows based or it can be browser based, we doesn't know so how much time it is going to take, right? So how much time it will maybe, so it will open sometimes within 2 minutes, maybe it will open sometimes it will take so 5 minutes, maybe it will 2 seconds or 5 seconds, whatever it may be, we doesn't know exactly, right? So that's why, so we have to use a wait option here. So wait, so based on so wait behavior, application behavior, we will use static wait 5 seconds or user defined wait or 20 seconds or whatever it may. If you change this 5 seconds to some other value, that one we will call it as a user defined wait. Or based on application behavior, dynamically if it has to take time, then we will call it as a dynamic wait. Now we will see that how to work with a wait option here. So when you are working with this, it is not working, so it's throwing some error. So what, so due to, so this in a launch, so immediately it is clicking on write. Before launching it is clicking on write, that's the issue, right? So right click on this, view action in Object Studio. Now observe this, we went to launch, right? In launch, what we need to do here, we need to use a wait option. Now use wait. Now observe this, give the link, navigate to wait, timeout to end. Now when you are running this, if you double click on wait option, observe this, timeout down, you can able to see timeout here. It says that it is a 5 seconds right here. It is saying that it is 5 seconds. It means by default it will wait for 5 seconds. After clicking on a launch button, it will wait for 5 seconds. After the 5 seconds, it will come out, timeout, and then it is going to end. So that is the meaning of this. Now save it, Control S, save changes. And if you want to, if the changes need to be reflected in our Process Studio, we need to refresh it here. Now same fast mode, still it is in a fast mode. Now we are going to run this. Observe this, it's waiting for 5 seconds, right? Here it is waiting for 5 seconds. After that it is implementing, and within 5 seconds it has been opened. Now again, if you observe here, we have an error where unable to match window with the query term in path. When you are giving a path, again it means we have to use here also wait in a path before giving this view action in Object Studio. See this path. So it means, so before, when it is giving the path, it is giving error, means before click on a save, here what we are doing, we are clicking on a save option. When you are clicking on a save, it is going to open another window to give the path. That window has to be opened, then only you can enter path there, right? It means after click on a save, we need to use wait here. Wait, give the link. Let it be for 5 seconds. We will see it for user define and make later. Now again refresh and save it. Save changes. Come to Process Studio. Refresh. Now we are going to run this. Okay, it has been closed. Again, see this, it's waiting 5 seconds here. After 5 seconds, immediately it will run. Here also observe this, it is waiting for 5 more seconds. If you observe here, okay, so again we have a error. Wait stage unable to match window with return. It's not so updated, it seems. View object in Object Studio. In the save we are giving, so it has to give. So let me give 10 seconds. Save this one. Sorry. Save changes. Reset. Again, you can close this. Refresh it here again. Now we are going to run this again. We'll see that. Here it will wait again 3 seconds. See this? It has been finished, right? So again it has waited 5-10 seconds and then it has been finished. So now, so without errors it is executing, right? So if you observe in desktop, you have a, see this file has been created. Okay, now assume that, so when you are working with any application, we doesn't know how much time it is going to take, right? So for example, so maximum time period we have given. Let's assume that, so when you are launching here, so let's go to the launch. So double click. Instead of this 5 seconds, you have given 30 seconds here. Then what is going to be happen here? It will wait for 30 seconds. It will wait for 30 seconds in a launch. When it is clicking on a launch, so it will wait for 30 seconds. Now if you observe, reset and then clicking on a this one. See this? It's waiting 30 seconds, right? But within 2 seconds or 3 seconds, your application, Notepad application has been opened. Again, so why it's unnecessarily, it has to wait for some more seconds, some more 20 seconds, some more 25 more seconds, right? It's a waste of time, right? So in this situation, so how to handle this? See this, now it's waited for 30 seconds and then it has performed the task. After that, here also it is waiting for 20 seconds, but within 2 to 3 seconds it has been opened, right? So how to overcome this? It's unnecessarily, it's wasting time. So for this, we will go for dynamic wait. We will use dynamic wait here. Now you will see, so how to perform dynamic wait. Come to this same, double click. Okay. So how come you are going to so confirm that whether the application is open properly or not? It means we can able to use it here. See this, when the application is opened, then your next element will be available, right? If you observe this here, see this element, so we have a options. Now just use that next element and then condition, check exist. Check exist. What it mean by that? We are checking that the element, is it exist or not? Element is exist or not. If the element exists, then so observe this, it is true. It means the next element, once it is launched, write is available, write element is available, or once you click on the save, path is available, that is the next element. If it exists, don't wait for 30 more seconds, come out. That is the meaning of this dynamic wait option. So now click OK. See this anchor, give the link from here to here. Now observe this, what it says, right? Check exist. If it exists here, then directly come to the end. Don't wait for 20 more seconds or 30 more seconds or 40 more seconds. It's not required because element is already available. It means the application has been properly launched. That's the meaning of this. Same way here in a save also. Here after the save, so what is required? Path, right? If the path exists, then come out. Double click on this. If the path, always remember for next element we are going to give. If the path exists, don't wait for 10 seconds. Come out from that. So now, so by using application behavior, it is going to automatically, it will pick the time. So when it is available, automatically it will come out from that. So like this, we can able to use dynamic waits for any application. Blindly remember one thing, wherever you are using launch, there you have to use a wait option, and then where it's opening another window or another page or refreshing, all these cases we have to use a wait option. It depends on purely your application behavior. Where it's opening another window, sometimes we have to use wait. Where another page or refreshing, when you are working with browser based application, you can able to see this. Remember, we have to use wait. And blindly, one thing you have to remember, when you are using launch, must and should you have to use a wait option and exception also. Okay, so now come to this. So now we used in the both the places, right? One is in a launch, one is in save option. Now let's save this. Save. Now come to the process. Refresh. Now run this process. Now observe, is it going to take 20 seconds or 30 seconds or not? See this? It's not taking, right? Immediately it is finishing. Even though if it is running in a fast mode, and then so even though if you used wait also, it is not waiting for 20 seconds or 30 seconds. If it is checking whether the element is available or not, yes, if it is available, then don't wait, come out. So that's the advantage of dynamic. Always suggestible thing will be dynamic wait option you have to use, and dynamic, remember this for any application. Okay, so this is about wait option. Okay, now we are going to discuss about how to debug any process. How to debug or debugging or tracing back. So different persons will call with a different names: debugging, tracing back, or so checking so whether it is working fine or not. If you want to check any process, for example, this is a simple thing, right? Simple process here. So what we are using, what we have created by using Notepad, this is a very simple process. So if assume that it's a very big process, then we need to understand each and every step what is happening. And if you have any errors in the process or object, wherever it may be, we need to understand what was that exact error, and each and every step is working fine or not. Then how to cross check those things. If you want to debug your process, if you want to cross check whether it is working fine or not, we have an option called debugging tools. See this here, step. You can able to see this, right? Left hand side here, the step and step over and step out, step over and step out. Okay, so for example, just assume that so you are walking from one place to another place, small distance. So how you will go step by step, step after step, right? You will use step after step. That is your step option. Step is step by step. You are moving step by step. That is nothing but a step option. And we have a step over. step over. In between you are skipping some steps and then you are moving a little bit fast. You are skipping in between, you are skipping some steps. That is nothing but step over. And step out. Step out. This is directly jumping to the end. Directly jumping to end. So this is nothing but step, step over and step out. These three options, so we have for debugging. We'll call it as a debugging tools also. Here we'll use step and step over to identify whether your process is working fine or not. Is it working fine or not? If you want to check, we will use step as well as step over options. Okay, step out just to check the result. Now we'll see so how step and step over is working here. Now observe this reset. We have this option step, right? Click on this where it came launch, right? Now it is in launch. Now again I am clicking on step. Observe what happened. Now it has taken you to your object studio, right? Why? Because in that particular action it is calling your object studio. It is calling object studio action. Now again step. See this? Again step. Each and step by step it is running. Again step. Again step. What happened now? Again it came back to the process. Again step. Next is write, right? Again step. It is going to write something. Again end. Again step. See this? It means it is showing each and everything. So because this is not continuously running, right? That's why it's unable to click on file. So it is showing that so each and every step what is happening in the back end, right? Step, it will give you the information. So what is going to be happen in the back end also, including back end process. It means nothing but what is happening in object studio. Okay, so now we will see step over. Step over, what it means by step over. Reset. Now observe this. This is your step over option. Click on this step over. Step over. What happened? Launch. Again. See this? Right. It came to the right. Is it going to the back end? No. It's showing only in your front end. It means in a process studio what is happening. It is not showing the things in the back end. So that is nothing but your step over option. Step, it will give you the complete information. Step over, it will skip the things in the back end what is happening. It will give you the information in only in your process studio. Again, if you click on a step, so it will come to the fact series. It is not giving anything in the back end, right? That is nothing but your step over. That is the difference between step and step over. Reset. Now we'll see. Okay, let me close this. So what is step out? It directly come to the end. It will give you the result end. So observe this step out. So it ran immediately and it is throwing somewhere. Step out, it will give you the complete information in the backend what is happening. So that is nothing but it will try to give you the result. It will run, but it will give you the finally it will try to display a result in a like a fast. Okay, so that's the difference between step and most of the time what we are going to do is we are going to use to cross check whether it is working fine or not, or if you want to debug anything we are going to use this one step option and then step over option. Step and step over. Okay, is it clear what is the purpose of step and step over? Okay, super. So now, so what we are going to do is we will work with another Windows based application. I will see so how to work with that. Okay, so before going to that, so I will give you some one assignment. So what you have to do is, so in your system you will have Windows Media Player or VLC Media Player, right? Windows Media Player or anything, Windows Media Player or VLC Media Player, right? What you have to do is, first step is launch your Windows Media Player, and next step will be, once it is launched, then you need to go through your application first. Before automating, remember, first you need to go through your application. If you go through your application, then only you can able to understand, so what all the options we have, and then what all the things we need to spy. So your requirement will be, you need to first you need to launch your Windows Media Player, and you need to click on a file or whatever it may be. The requirement will be, you need to open your existing songs or videos in your file, songs or videos in your from your folder, and then it has to play. You need to click on a play, and don't use terminate option. It has to play continuously. So once the song is completed, it will stop automatically. If you terminate immediately, it will terminate. If you want to play it, and then use a wait option there for 5 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever it may be. After that, terminate. It means the song has to play for 5 minutes, or video has to play 5 minutes by default, and then after 5 minutes of playing that video, it has to terminate. So try to implement this. Windows Media Player or VLC Media Player, anything you can take. So OSS Windows Media Player will not work properly sometimes. So then you can try with VLC Media Player. But most of the options will work. In some OSS it will work with Win32 mode. In some OS it will work with accessibility mode. It depends. Okay. Go through your application, launch your application, and then check. So what all the options we have. You need to launch, and you need to, so your requirement is, you need to open your existing files, songs or videos, and then it has to be play. For each and every option, what you need to do, first you need to create a application. This is common. And then next we need to create a element, and then after that we need to create a action, right? For this action you need to use different shapes in your object studio. Once you created, then you have to do that in a process studio, the sequence. Is it clear, the requirement? So what you have to do, so try to implement it. So if you are facing any issues, we will discuss again later. Okay. So now, what we are going to do is, we will discuss about another application. So for example, simple thing, calculator application. Okay. So now in calculator, so how many options we will have? For example, if I open calculator here, calculator, observe this is our calculator, right? See this 9, so 8, 7, all the buttons, all the different buttons, and 0. See, so many options, right? So what all the options you can able to perform each and everything. What you are doing here, first you are launching calculator. So this is we will launch. After that, what we are doing, we are clicking, right? All are mouse click, all are here mouse click. For example, if you observe the same calculator in Windows 7 or Windows 8, it looks different. Windows 7 or Windows 8, so your calculator will looks different. So here in Windows 10, so we'll have some issue with calculator. So this is a separate version. So we can't able to spy sometimes, we can't able to element. I will show you what was the issue with this, and then I will take so any one of your system, I will take the control and we will implement it in Windows 7 machine. So now if you observe here, see this, so all are different options, right? If you want to automate this, what you have to do, you need to create all the actions, right, from 0 to 9 for all these. So each and every option you need to create a actions. So these many actions you need to create, then only you can say that application has been completely automated. So I will show you what was the issue with Windows 10 here. So if you want to work with application, let me close this one, Notepad. We need to create a object first, right? Right click, create a object, calculator. Now next, now double click. Okay. First we need to create an application, right? Application modular. Next, this is Windows based application and it has to be launched from your executable file, and then here you need to give the path where your calculator application is available. Click on your browse and go to C, Windows System 32. It will be there in System 32 and then calculator, this one, right? Calculator, click OK, and then next. Remaining everything will be next. Now the application has been created, right? First what we need to do, we need to launch your application first, right? Click on the launch. Okay, now if you observe, so is it launched? See this, what happened? Is it launching or not? No, right? If you observe here, it's not launching. If I use it here also, see this, it's not launching your application. So if you observe this, so let me check this one more time. Windows System 32, this one, CALC, this one we need to check. Okay, now we need to launch, right? Now launch, it's launched, right? It's launched. So now, so once it's launched, then what we need to do, generally we need to spy that, right? Go to application modular, click on the element. Do you have the option to spy here? See this, did you get the option to spy? No, right? That's the issue with this. See this, that's why it means the application is not supporting to spying. Application is not supporting to spy. So in this case we can't able to do anything. Must and should your application has to support so for spying, then only we can able to automate any kind of application. If it is not at all allowing to spy, then we can't able to do anything. See this, if you observe this here, click on launch. When I click on launch, immediately identify is coming, it's going out. See this again, see this coming on, it's displaying and it's immediately going out. In this case we can't able to do so anything, right? So this is the issue with Windows 10. Windows 10, so we can't able to so implement this. Now so what we will do is, so we'll take so any, so Windows 7 or Windows 8 OS. So who is having Windows 7 and Windows 8, can you so ping me here, so I will give control to them. Windows 7 OS or Windows 8 OS, anyone, I will take the control. Okay, Sridhya, I will give control to you. Share your screen. Okay, thank you. I will request you for keypad and mouse control. Just accept this and don't move your mouse, please. Okay, thank you. I have control. Okay, so let me open BluePrism. Okay, so first I will show you the calculator here. Now observe this calculator, how it looks like. It's a different version, right? So we can able to spy it here. Okay, we will see that by using this. Now we'll clear. So can you type password here? Okay, thank you. Now first what we need to do, we need to create a object. Create a object, calculator, calculator, next, finish. Now double click on that calculator. Now for example here, our requirement is, what we need to do is, so assume that, so we need to perform some options here. So first we are opening, after that we are going to click on 9, after that we need to multiply, and we need to click on 7, and we need to click on equal, and we need to get the result. This is our requirement. This thing we need to automate. When you are running this automatically, it has to perform some options. Okay, for example, so to do this, how many options we are performing here? We are opening your calculator, and then we are clicking on 9, first option, and we are clicking on multiply, second, and we are clicking on 7, 3, and we are clicking on equal, fourth, and then after that we are picking the result, fifth. 5 options we are implementing here. So apart from launch and terminate, right? Apart from launch and terminate, we are using 5 options. It means 5 actions you need to create. We'll see that. Now come to the application modular. Now we need to create an application, Windows based executable file, and you need to know the path where your calculator is available. So it will be in C and Windows System 32. See this calc. This is your executable file. Select this. Now remaining everything will be next. Okay. So now, so it created a main element, right? Calculator main element has been created. We will check and we will launch. Now it has been launched. Now we have launched. We created a main element. We need to create a action for that. Now rename it and then use it as a launch. Click OK. Now what we need to perform here, we need to launch. We have to use navigate shape and then give the link. Now double click on this calculator and then use action launch. That's done. First thing is done, right? Launch. After that what we need to perform, we need to click on 9. We need to click on 9 or 7, whatever it may be. So create an element. We will create this name as button 9, and identify Win32. Observe this button 9, right? We can able to spy control left click and it will create a properties. It will capture properties and we need to uncheck wherever you don't have values. Okay, now it captured the properties of the particular element, right? Now we need to test. We will use highlight option. Now observe this carefully, what is happening here. This is very important. What happened now? What is the error here? We can note down this error. More than one matching element matching window found. More than one matching window found. If you get this error, what you need to do? The meaning of this is when it is trying to highlight that particular element, so it is fetching more than one matching elements. More than one matching series window found. It means for these properties, whatever the properties it has captured, for these properties it is having more than one element. So the thing is here, if you observe all our buttons here, see this, all our buttons, the behavior of the all these options, these elements is same. There is no difference, right? The behavior of this each and everything is same. There is no difference. All are buttons, right? Our properties also same. That's why when we are highlighting, see this, it is highlighting first all the list, first list. It means more elements we have with the same properties. If you have this more elements with the same properties, remember you have to use ordinal option. You have to use ordinal where you have more than one matching element found. Remember this statement. And sometimes in interviews also they will ask this question like, when I am trying to spy, I am getting, it is highlighting on more than elements, one elements. So how to overcome that? For that you have to use ordinal option. Sometimes if any application when you are working, when you are highlighting, you spied something, when it is highlighting, it is so like trying to highlight more than one or more than two. Then how to overcome that? We have to use ordinal. Ordinal means here, this BluePrism, it will assign sequence numbers for same property elements. See this, here all are same, right? From here it will start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It will be like that. It will give you sequence numbers for each and every element. Based on that sequence numbers, you need to identify these. That is nothing but your ordinal option. If you observe this here, see this, ordinal for 9 is 14, right? Ordinal for 9 is 14. Now try to highlight. Observe this, highlight. Now it's highlighting exactly, right? So that's why if you get this error when you are highlighting more than one matching window found, you have to use ordinal. Remember that. When you will get this error, if you have same properties for the elements, then you will get this error. If you have same properties of the elements, how to identify individually, you have to use ordinal. That is the thing you have to remember. Okay, now observe this. Now if you have ordinal 14, if you highlight, it is highlighting only your specific thing where you have captured, right? Okay, that's fine. So now we created an element for this. Now what we need to do, we need to create a action. Now this is for button 9, right? So what you need to perform here, button 9, what is the option you need to perform? Mouse click. So you have to use navigate, double click, button 9, this button, right? What is the option you will get it here? You are going to get option called press. Observe this and click OK. The same way, so after that again I need to click on a, so multiply, need to click on multiply, right? So up to here it is 14, right? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 will be the multiply, right? We will see that. Application modular and add element. This is for button multiply. Now click on identify. Come to that application. See this, multiply. Control left click. Come to this, match, unmatch. Okay. If you observe here, see this button 9 and multiply. Here how many properties you have? Visible, screen visible, ordinal, enable and class name. Forget about ordinal. Enable, class name. So these four things, right? For multiply also observe this, same. Class name, enable, visible and screen visible, right? Same properties it is capturing. It means, so that's why when you are trying to highlight, it's highlighting So first some properties which you have the same properties, right? So first elements which you have same properties. So if you want to overcome this, what we need to do, we need to click on ordinal. So now if you highlight, it will highlight exactly the same specific element, right? Now apply. Okay, understood the purpose of ordinal, right? Okay. So now next we'll create a action. Sorry, this is for multiply, and click OK. Now create a, use navigate again, use this one, double click, and multiply we have to use, and then use plus option and click OK. Right? So next will be again what you have to do. So next after multiply we need to click on 7. So use application modular, add element. This is for button 7. Now identify, come to this button 7, control left click, match, again use ordinal value and highlight. It's working fine. Now create a element for that, create a action for that. We created element, we need to create a action. This is for button 7. Click OK. Here also again we have to use click, use navigate, double click on this. Sorry, it didn't click on. Apply OK. Apply OK. Now double click button 7. And then again use plus option, click OK. After that button 7, so what we need to do, we need to click on equal. So now right click, sorry, we need to create a element, add element, equal, and identify, come to this one, control left click. Now again use ordinal, highlight. It's working fine, right? Apply OK. Create a action for that. So this is for equal, click OK. Again what we need to do, perform same thing. Again you have to use a split, double click, plus. Okay, so after the equal, what we need to do, we will get the result here. We need to capture this, right? So again use application modular, click on application modular, add element. This is for result, identify, and if you come to this, observe this option. Again if you observe here, see this, it's trying to spy so multiple options in the same element, right? In same element it is trying to spy multiple options. By seeing this, so we can able to understand this one will work for the result, this one will not work for result, this one will work for not work for result. So in the next example we will see, so going forward we will see, so in this situation how to implement this, how to work with this. Okay, so now here, so this one will work, right? So control left click, so it is going to capture properties, and then again if you observe, so here also you will have a ordinal and then highlight. It's working fine, right? So now each and everything, so we have created, and then after that we will terminate it. We have to use terminate. So like this, if you want to automate this calculator application, so we need to use or create all the actions for that particular calculator for each and every option in your calculator. Now we are using terminate. Terminate main element we have to use always. Now we created, right? We created all the actions for each and every option. So now, so just we will see. So how? So first is launch. Launch is done. It's anyway it says launched. Now we will so check. So each and everything, is it working fine or not? Button 9, reset and run this. It has to click 9. Yes, it's done. Now come to the multiply. Reset. Always if you want to check, cross check, so you have to reset and you have to run, then only it will work, otherwise it will not allow. Observe this. Multiply. Okay, 7. See this, what happened? There is no current stage. What it mean by that? I didn't reset. Now reset. Now it will click on 7. Yes. Now after that, come to the equal. Now reset and run. We can test it. See this result. After that, what you need to do? Okay, after result, we need to get the result. We need to get the result. Okay, after clicking on equal, so we need to get the result, right? So we didn't use result action here. Right click, new, result, click OK. Result, what we need to do? We need to pick the result, right? It means we need to read, use this one, double click, result, and get text. Result, you need to store it in some value from the result. Now when you run this, it has to pick the result. The result value has to come here in this data item to this data item. Now click on this. Observe this. Now result came here, right? After that, you will use terminate, and then if you use this terminate, it is going to terminate your application. Now, so each and every action, it is working fine. So whatever the things we have created, right? Okay. So whenever you are having the same properties for all your elements, no need to create each and every element spying. No need to create n number of elements for same properties. We can use dynamic attribute. We can use parameter. We can use dynamic attribute and then we can use parameter. We will see that in next class how to use dynamic attribute and how to use parameter. So now, so here we will stop it here. So tomorrow we will create process for this and we will run one by one. After publishing this, we created actions, that's it. Next, what we need to do? We need to publish. We need to use that in a process studio. Here also we need to check in all your debug speeds. After that, we will see that how to work with a dynamic attribute, what it means by that, when you have to use. So what is the advantage of dynamic attribute? That is very important. We will see that in most of the interview questions you are going to get this question. Most of the interviews you will get this question, what it means by dynamic attribute. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, so now, so what are the things we discussed today? So we discussed about how to work with a weight. How many weight options we have? Static, user defined, dynamic. Static and user defined and dynamic we have, right? So static will be by default 5 seconds and user defined will be, if you change that 5 seconds to 20 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever it may be, that will be user defined. So if you implement it for dynamic, so based on the application behavior, then we will go for dynamic option, right? Okay. So just a minute, I will give the control back to you. You can take it. Yeah, I given the control back to you. Okay. So that is dynamic weight option, right? So after that, what we have discussed? We discussed about how to work with a calculator. Here the main important thing is we need to remember about this multiple matches. If you have multiple matches for the same element, how to perform that? We need to use ordinal. Remember ordinal button. Ordinal. When you will use ordinal, if you have multiple elements with same properties, you need to remember this. If you have multiple elements with same properties, always we have to use ordinal. That is a blind statement. Okay, so these are the things. Okay, next class we will see what is dynamic, how to implement dynamic, and how to implement a parameter for with the by using the same example. Then you can able to understand very clearly, so what is the advantage of so dynamic attribute, how to perform with that. Okay, so any questions here in this class, anyone?